This is Mike, and we're looking at XLM. Now, the reason I haven't posted another update about this chart recently, like as much as I should, perhaps, is because I've been working on the small degree count quite a bit, trying to make sense of every single pattern in order to explain why I believe it's going to fall further. And I believe that now I have the perfect count to explain it. Right? I've never said that before about an XLM video because it's hard. It's really complex patterns. But first of all, let me start this video simply by addressing the truncation idea, the idea that wave 5 didn't make another high. Okay. Now, you can believe it or not, but look at this 5-wave move. Does it look proper? Right? There's something missing, right? Yes, it's the last wave that should have made a higher high than wave 3, right? Wave 5 always is supposed to do that. All right. It wasn't easy for me to make that truncation video because I've long said that I don't believe in truncation and it's just bad analysis. All right. But it really dawned upon me that this pattern makes the most sense. So any correction that happened after wave 5 should be considered its own correction and to fall back to the levels that they typically would fall back down toward, which in my opinion is wave 4 of wave 3, right? In XRP, wave 4 of wave 3 happened higher up. That's why I believe XRP won't fall that far, right? I'm not thinking everything's going to tank. XRP is going to be more resilient. That's just my opinion, right? And you can even see it in the price movements. It doesn't move that much, right? It's more stable in my opinion as well, right? So that's the first thing wrong with this 5-wave move. That's the only thing that's wrong with this 5-wave move, right? Now, I'm going to show you what I think is going on in the correction now, my latest view on this, okay? And this one, I think is going to stick a lot more than the previous ones have, and it's going to explain a lot of the funky patterns that I've seen in it as well, okay? So the biggest wave here is wave A, okay? Wave A. Let's just take a look at wave A for a moment, right? Wave A had a pretty big fall at the start, right? Within the B wave, we had like a big correction, and wave D was also expanded. We had A, B, C, D, E, right? Now, what happened after that is we started to get the C wave, right? Similar in length to the first move down. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You'll notice that. What happened after that? We got miniaturized, small, B, C, D, right? B, C, D, right? I cannot make another pattern without wrecking this because of this zigzag right here, right? This zigzag right here doesn't make any sense being there. The only way that it makes sense is if you look at it in this particular way. BCD was tiny, right? And then we had a wave 1 of the coming wave E, right? This is the wave that's going to send this lower. Yes, I understand. It looks stupid, it looks weird, but to me, it makes the most sense, right? Wave C of wave A. Yes, it had to be a certain length, and I think that's why all this happened. BCD had to happen as well because all that time was spent making the A wave that there was basically no time left to make the BCD wave, right? So that there is now critical support. We don't bounce above that, you can't tell me this is bottomed, right? And another reason why I don't think it's bottomed because of the correction is ongoing at the lows, right? I believe that firmly it is an ABC so far pattern. That's the way I see it, right? Now let's just take a measurement of wave A for a moment and compare it to wave C so we can see quite clearly what's going on. Okay, if you put that level there, it's almost perfect, right? That low. But you can see how much it tried to make the fifth wave. It had to bounce barely below the end of wave 3 to make it. And yes, I believe that is a full correction wave 4. You can see it very clearly. 2 zigzags, a 5-wave move, a zigzag, and a 5-wave move. A, B, C, D, E. Right? I don't just draw fancy labels on the page. It's there so you can identify the waves correctly as I label them, because it's not easy to identify them. It's not just fancy. There's a reason behind the waves. Right? And plus I keep everything, I present everything in a standard way so you can sort of see why I present it and what it means over time, potentially, right? If you do. If you don't, fair enough. So that is the reason why I believe that wave E is still incoming, right? I didn't have the perfect picture before. I had an idea, but now it's become clear that these are the waves that are the missing piece. So therefore, like I said, critical resistance. We break 0.129738. I will say I was wrong. I will say I was wrong, and this is the end of the correction, right? But in saying that, right, you got to think about this, right? If wave 5 was supposed to make a new high here and we've only corrected down this low, that's not even the previous fourth wave, let alone the fourth wave of wave 3. Okay? And what I see, or what I expect, is coming in the markets across the board soon. Why would XLM be the only one that doesn't go down? Is there something so special about XLM? That's why it truncated the wave 5. Okay. Yes, its future is amazing. Its future is bright. But right now, it's in a bear market. And I don't care what anyone says. You prove me wrong by breaking that level, and then I'll change my view. Right. But then I've got to also think about what's going on in all the other markets, and they've all got to prove me wrong as well. So it's not just one chart that's got to prove me wrong. Right. And I'm actually at the point now where I'm confident enough to make these types of claims, because I spend a lot of time doing this analysis, and I think that it's quite possible. Right. Now, so basically, when it comes to what's going on now, it's become quite clear that that's an A wave, that's a B, and C just popped up. I think it's still got one more high to go, okay, for C wave. And then we're going to step down D, E. I believe that's going to end up going down into wave 3, okay? So wave 3 will, obviously this is wave 1 here. I'll just make it bigger so you can see it, right? The wave 2 will eventually end somewhere, who knows, right? We don't know, because, after C comes D, and then comes E, right? Usually what I see when the strength to the upside runs out in corrections is that they end up arching back down, right? The momentum runs out and it just ends up making this pattern, right? That's usually how it goes. Now, for there to be an ABC here, that means that this can't be a complete E wave either. It's a 5-wave move, but it's not a complete E wave. Yes, I know B, C, D was weird, but A was huge. So is there any particular rule saying that E wave can't extend lower in this? No, there's not. There's no such rule at all that exists. According to AriasWave, this thing's going to keep going lower. And I'm saying that a lot of things are going to go lower lately, right? Have I been proven wrong yet? Not yet, right? That's fine. If you have an opinion, post a chart, right? That's what I do. I have an opinion, I post a chart. That's how it works, isn't it? If you don't agree with it, that's fine. I don't mind. I'm open to criticism. But my view here is to just track the waves using AriasWave. And the way that you get into trades, right, is the red line means a stop, the dashed line means entry, right? Why? Because it's the start of wave E. And if wave E is the last wave in a correction, breaking the start of it means that the correction's over, right? That's how it works. It's as simple as that. So therefore, whenever I place these markings on the chart, that's what it means. It means that I believe this is a low, and it's confirmed by breaking the start of wave E. All right, I was going to post this chart yesterday, except I ran out of posts for the day. So my bad, I'm sorry. But yeah, look, wave 1, A, B, C, D, E, and I mentioned in the video this is going to go higher. We haven't seen anything similar in length to wave 1 yet, so I believe that that's still coming, right? XLM hasn't topped out yet in wave C, right? So potentially there's a nice little trade there, whatever. Potentially I'll if I spot the end of the correction, I might post a chart with a setup for that last move up, just a mini trade, whatever. But that's the general idea behind that, right? Is C wave going to go higher, higher, higher? I don't see any reason why it would, right? It may not have topped out yet, but I don't think it's going to go much higher, right? It's just a wave. It's the wave that I thought this wave was up here, and this is why you can get it mixed up, you can get it confused, is because these are fractal patterns. All right, I try my best to come up with the right count, and once I do, I post my idea based on that reasoning, basically. Right, and I know that's wave C because it comes after B, right? It's not just a fancy label, it's actually there for a reason, because waves only happen in particular ways according to AriasWave, right? And they unfold in 3 different variances of a wave component, which is a zigzag or a 5-wave move. All right, that's basically what it is. It's something that you pick up over time if you listen, but obviously I don't lay it all out in one video. But over time, you probably notice it. Some people might. I don't know. I don't get many comments typically, but that might change in the future. Who knows? So at this point in time, looking at it from the point of view of, just simply put, a wave 1 and 2, what about a pullback? What have we had so far? Okay, from the lows of fib, only 0.382. Okay, so it's a kind of like a shallow correction, which is pretty normal for a weak market, right? It's pretty normal. That might have been as high as it bounces. Previous wave 4, about to go into a downtrend, a big downtrend. Um, you know, at some point, wave 3 will have to begin, won't it? Because that's how it works, right? You only get 2 patterns in markets: zigzags and 5-wave moves. And if we're getting this type of setup here ready for a drop, then what makes anyone think that it can't go significantly lower when wave 1 is already that big, right? What, just wave 1 alone is already that big. What, you think that it can't go lower? Wave 3 is typically longer than wave 1, right? So it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? And how long does wave 3 have to be? It can be as long as it wants to be, right? Sometimes it can be really long. I mean, take a look at this. That wave 3 was that long, right? Just saying, right? It doesn't have to be that long, but it could be. How do you know? You don't know. Nobody knows. So I'm not telling you that I know everything what's happening. I'm dealing with probabilities. I'm dealing with, a possible outcome, and then I'm trading accordingly. Along the way, I do it with a lot of charts, and I also start to see similarities in what's going on. Doesn't always occur in the same way. If I put the same labels on every chart, you probably wouldn't like it. You probably think this is ridiculous. Why is everything look the same? All right, but I don't do that. I do it based on its own merits and based on its own pattern, and I make my assumptions in the way I do. And the best thing I've noticed, the most interesting thing I've noticed so far, is how the BCD pattern occurred in this market. Is amazing. I've never seen anything like it before, and it makes sense. Don't know why, but it does. All right, because it fits, the pattern is there. And anytime I see something that's out of place, I always have it in the back of my mind that was wrong identification, until eventually I come to the right count for the first part, and then the second part makes sense, and then the third part, well, obviously it becomes obvious when you start to realize that a lot of things are going to fall, not just this, right? Not just that, but there's a general theme going on, and I draw conclusions. Anyway, enough said on that one. Hopefully it's been informative, and hopefully it's made some sense. Thanks for watching.